Welcome back to Alright, what's next? Today we're going to make a add-on for my pin making supplies. This is my primary blank that I use for making acrylic pins. It's a terrific friggin' blank. I love it. You really don't need to use mold release on there, although I do. It really helps out. But the thing is, it's freaking huge. It uses an absolute shit ton of resin. And if you've ever done anything with resin, you're gonna know stuff costs a freaking fortune. If you can get away with not using as much resin as what this is, you're gonna want to do it. So what we're gonna do is we're going to create a plug system, something that I can cut chunks off of, stick it down in here, and take up the gap for when I'm going to pour resin in here. That way I'm only pouring the amount of resin that I need for the actual blank. See, like the pin that I have here that I carry every day. Now this one's wood, but if you look at it, this is metal from here out to here, and it's metal from here to here. So this centerpiece right here, that's the only part of it that you're going to need resin for if you're making acrylic blank. Now using this huge freaking thing, the entire pin drops in there with a lot of room to spare. So you don't want to go and fill this up with resin to make a blank this size. Unfortunately, that's what I've been doing, and I've wasted a tremendous amount of freaking resin. I've got all kinds of little blocks of resin laying all over the place. It's like, oh, I'm going to keep them because you never know what I might do with them. But I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to hopefully make a silicone system of plugs that I can cut up into different chunks that I can put down in here. That way I can pour resin to the exact amount that I need for whatever specific freaking pin I'm going to make. Now this is either going to work great or I'm going to ruin a perfectly good $20 freaking mold. I've already sprayed it twice with this Alumilite mold release stuff. I don't know if I need it. I'm going to do it anyways just to try and be safe. Especially on the threads. I don't want nothing sticking onto the threads. Always clean your unless it's one of them paint in any direction cans. Whenever you're done with some sort of spray product, tip it upside down and spray it until you get a clean jet coming out, because that'll clean the nozzle, and your spray paints and everything will last a hell of a lot freaking longer. I'm out of beer. Hold on a second. Alright, mold's back together. Alright, before we get into what I'm going to do next, possibly ruining this blank, I want to show you something real quick. See this right here? Let me give you a little closer look. This. Anybody know what that is? I'm sure you do. This is called a hole saw. These are extremely handy. This is half a saw. They're not handy. Alright, that had nothing to do with this. That's just the quality of the level of humor that you're going to have on this channel. I'll be here all week. 2 shows a night. I actually cut a perfectly good saw in half just to do that stupid dad joke. Okay. White silicone caulking is what I'm going to use. Caulking. Funny story with this stuff. At work, when you got to fill out a work order, you got to type things in, what you did, everything like that. And you'd have to, for working on like a van, you got to seal something up with some caulking. There was a guy where he would fill out the work order, and he would type it in, and he wasn't doing it to cause problems. He wasn't good at spelling, and he would actually, he caulked a seam, and he would spell it C-O-C-K. So it was great to go through and review that work order. You just laugh your ass off. But we're going to take this stuff, and we're going to fill this up. So what you got to do, we need to cut the top off of this. What do I got to cut this son of a bit? I got an old X-Acto blade. Let's see if that'll do it. No, that's dull. I need something to get down in there and puncture that freaking seal with. Paintbrush. We've never done anything like this before. These tubes have like a foil seal down inside that you got to punch. A good caulking gun will have a little wire thing on here that folds down. You can flip it over, punch the hole, fold it back shut. But this is an extremely cheap one. Whenever you use one, turn down like that. You can pull out on the handle. On the top side, it's got all these little notches. The notches go into the freaking gripper right here. So when you're ready to use it, you got to flip it over. That way, this thing will grab it and push the rod forward, shove the silicone out. If you don't flip it over like this with the handle dealy thingy pointing up, your gun isn't going to work. So if you go and buy one of these things and it isn't working, pay attention where these notches are. That probably seems like, well, no shit, everybody knows that, but not everybody knows that. Silicone it doesn't stick. It sticks to everything, but nothing sticks to it. So all we're going to do is we're just going to fill this freaking mold up. Try and work any air bubbles out of it that might be down in there. All right. Now, hopefully, we'll let this set up overnight. Once this stuff, we might actually let this sit for a couple of days because that's a lot of silicone. It's freaking thick as shit. So, imagine I'll let this sit for 2 or 3 days. And then, with any luck, we'll come back. We'll be able to freaking just peel this right up out of there. Oh, and when you're done with your silicone, turn the freaking thing over, pull it back, take the pressure off of it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep freaking gooping out. And then find yourself a bolt that you can shove in here. Let's see, is this one going to be big enough? No. I need a bigger bolt. There we go. Go ahead. Find a bolt that's just big enough to go in there. Thread her down in there. And then I like to take some electrical tape. And just wrap it really freaking tight around that end. Now this stuff's still going to dry out. There's still going to get air in there. Once you break that freaking foil seal, this stuff is going to go bad. But by doing this with the freaking bolt and the tape, this will extend the life of it quite a while. I mean, you get months and months out of this, where if you just left that open, this shit's done in, well, tomorrow you probably wouldn't be able to get anything out of it again. Okay, so we're just going to set this aside. We'll come back in a couple of days. We'll check it and see if I have to order another blank or mold. I got a feeling this was a really stupid idea. But, you know, what the hell. But, hey, I'll see you in a couple of days, okay? All right. So I'm back to using my old camera, the one that's about to frickin' die on me, because it actually adjusts for the light source as opposed to the new piece of shit that I bought that made the first part of this video all frickin' yellow. All right. Here's the blank that I filled with silicone. It has been sitting for a while now. Now, I said when I first did this and I filled this up that it could take a couple of days to cure. And, well, I was kind of deluding myself. I should have known better. Even the instructions on your basic silicone caulking is to do a very thin bead. If you don't do a thin bead, it doesn't cure because it makes a crust around it. This is a huge freaking block of freaking air dry silicone. So you squish it. This has been sitting for, what, 10 days now? And you can tell that the inside of it is still squishy as shit. So this was an epically stupid idea, which, you know, most of my ideas generally are epically freaking stupid. But I was going for, I already have silicone, why don't I just use that? I didn't want to spend money. But, you know what? You live, you learn, whatever. So now we got to clean this out, and we're going to redo it with a different type of silicone. So let me put some gloves on and see if we can get this freaking silicone cleaned out of here. Nice thing is I noticed it peels away from the sides, so it did not stick to the mold. So I'm not concerned about it ruining my lizard blank freaking pin mold. Where are my gloves? Oh, there they are. I'm going to get some plastic. I'm hoping that the crust on the outside of this will allow me to just peel it up and get it out of there without it splitting open and spooging out everywhere, and that'll be gross and make a terrible mess. And then I'll probably have to let whatever gets all over the place cure before I can clean it, so it'll peel off. But let's see what it does. All right. Yeah, the end is still goopy. So, let's see. I got something I can... Yeah, good God. Stupid fucking idea. I don't know who came up with that. They should be beaten senseless. Yeah, almost none of it freaking cured. It was just the top crust. That sucks. All right, it actually came out relatively clean and fairly easy. Don't do that. That was really stupid. All right, so what we're going to do now, hit it with a little bit more mold release. We're going to try this again with what I should have done in the first place, was get the proper freaking resin. So okay, so this is what we're going to try. You see, this is Smooth On brand pourable silicone rubber. It is a two-part epoxy resin silicone rubber, whatever you want to fucking call it. It's got a part A and a part B, just like doing that Alumilite that I use for making the pins and all that crap. So you just do equal parts of part A and part B, stir it together, and it makes a really nice silicone mold, apparently. I don't know, I've never used the stuff. They have apparently a YouTube channel, youtube.com/smoothon, that'll give you tutorials. I'll probably go ahead and check them out, because there's other freaking molds out actually I try since I've got this, because this isn't going to use very much. So let's go ahead and mix this up. We're going to pour it in here. We'll let this cure up overnight and see what happens. And this should cure up overnight, because this cures through a chemical reaction, not through air contact like that first stupid idea that I had. So we need that. We need a couple of small cups. Freaking always keep on a nice big bag of freaking Dixie cups, or whatever brand you have. These are just Walmart brand freaking cheap ass bathroom cups. So we need 2 of them so we can get a equal mix. Oh, and the lids both say stir well before using. So apparently I got to stir these up before I actually use them, which is weird. They have a limited shelf life. Use as soon as possible. So once we open this up, I've got to start making some freaking molds. So probably in the weeks to come, there's going to be videos about making molds. So I've got to learn fast. So I need something to stir with. Dowel rod. Got to have a dowel rod laying around. Ew, I got it on my bench. All right. Let's throw that away. Get a rag, some beer. And stir this. Holy crap, it's kind of thick. All right, let's dump some of this into a cup. Need to do about that much. I'm going to use the opposite side to stir this one. We're going to need a solo cup. So let's pour that in to an equal amount as the other one. Man, that's pretty fucking close. All right. There we go. All right, now we dump them both. This stuff isn't super expensive, but it's not cheap either. It's $35 for this kit on Amazon. So I want to get as much of that out of there as I can possibly get. All right. Fuck. Why didn't I lay the plastic out all over my bench? Rather than just, I don't know. I don't think things through. So you got approximately 12 minutes of working time with this before it starts to set up. So make sure you stir the shit out of it, because you don't want unmixed resin in there. Silicone, whatever the crap you call it, fuck you call it. And then apparently it takes roughly 75 minutes for it to set up. So it's got a short setup time. We might be able to pull this out freaking today, not have to wait till tomorrow, as opposed to the 10 days that I waited on the other one to have it still be goopy. All right. That looks to be pretty good. Let's freaking fill this mold. Ah! Get in there. All right, now we wait. All right, so it's been 24 hours now. The silicone has had time to set up. You push on it all over the place. It appears to be completely and totally set up. Now, when I first came out here this morning, I grabbed the plastic and I touched it, and this shit was still liquid. So I got pretty nervous about it. It's like, what the hell? Why is that still liquid? It's like everything in the mold seems to be solid, and I'm a little nervous. Is like, is it going to be freaking liquid on the inside? Then I got thinking that part A is green, part B is blue. That's probably part B that I splattered all over the place because I made a pretty significant mess. So hopefully all of that is just non-mixed part B sitting there all by itself. So now we can go ahead and see about getting this out. Now this stuff down the side, it seems to peel off extremely easy. So with any luck, that stuff in the center is going to come out nice and easy. Wow, perfect. And it pulled out the last remaining bits of that stupid mistake that I made with the window and door caulking that didn't cure at all. So now I've got a big plug for my mold. So once again, the reason for that, here I got boxes full of freaking pin kits. Okay, say I'm gonna make, I got this Phoenix Rising pin kit that I haven't decided on what I want to make for a blank yet. And the pin kit, you know, of course comes with the brass tube. So you take that brass tube, that's all the bigger of a freaking blank you need. Why fill damn near twice as much of this thing up? Well, you can make 2 blanks out of one freaking mold if you wanted to. Why waste that much resin to make one goddamn pin? All you got to do is now I can come in here, set this in, figure out how much this is going to take up, cut off a freaking chunk, drop it down in there, make my blank, and I save myself a shitload of freaking resin, because resin gets expensive fast. So now I can just set this in with all my other pin making crap. Put my mold back together. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like button. Turn on notifications. We'll see you next time. Bye.